Hello, you're listening to Crossing the Desert. This podcast is a reality series about how I build my small business in the Emirates. I'm Isaac. In each episode, I share how my own business is going, but most importantly, I learn from other entrepreneurs who come to Dubai from India, Egypt, Palestine, Caribbean islands, UK, Russia, and who knows where else. Stories of their success and challenges will help me on my own way. The podcast is brought to you by Fortis, the omni-channel platform that integrates POS, CRM, orders, payments, and loyalty programs for small and medium-sized businesses. Welcome to Crossing the Desert, the podcast. Can you introduce yourself to our listeners, please?
Of course. So my name is Ragad Murad, and I'm the founder and owner of Waggish, an illustration and design business based in the UAE that aims to promote all the Arabic cultures and traditions.
Usually, I tell you stories of those who come to Dubai from different countries and bring the best of what they have, their traditions and new ideas. All this enriches Dubai. But this time, on the contrary, we will hear the story of a woman who develops and popularizes the Arab culture. Rahat lives in Sharjah with her family, some of them you'll hear in the background. And Sharjah is my favorite place in the Emirates. When it comes to Sharjah, I really like the House of Wisdom, I think that you have, which is an amazing place. Love it a lot. It's like grand library. It has inside small space of greenery, like gardens, but within the building, which is very, very cool. You don't need to register yourself. You can choose the books that they have like displayed and you can work with it. And they have coffee shop inside with specialty coffee and a lot of young people who spend their Saturdays and Sundays studying there. If you were to meet Rahat among the students, the first thing you would notice is your laptop covered in stickers. I mean, seriously, completely in 2 layers.
I'll get my own laptops. 1 second.
Oh, wow. Love it. Now I kind of have FOMO that I don't have stickers on my laptop.
Stickers are the most affordable pieces of art that you can get, and it's very easy to just display. You get stickers not to see and look at them yourself, but it's like a visual representation of who you are. This is why stickers are nice. It's just you get to put out your personality and people can quickly see and have like points of conversation they can talk to you about. Like I have ones about Palestine, for example, very simple ones, but then they would open up conversations. Some stickers are sarcastic that might come off as a little bit rude or offensive, but then like in the most funny way. We have a cleaning themed stickers. In Arabic, there's a lot of insults that are cleaning related. It's very specific, like threats, like I would mop the floor with you, for example. So in the cleaning pack, there is a mop and it has that. So people like to just put it on their laptop. They're not telling you this, but their laptop is telling you this just as a funny joke to put out for everyone. So whatever is on your laptop, especially if it's this advanced, I would say, it would get people talking. So that's why I love stickers, honestly. They're cute, they're simple, they're nice as gifts, they're nice for yourself. Perfect.
All these stickers Rahat have made herself for her brand, Waggish. She started this brand together with her friends when they were students. It was the time of COVID and they had enough time to come up with something new.
So it was in COVID time, which is where all the small businesses really started. So it was me and the first friend. He wanted to start a business. He was studying accounting and finance. So he wanted to get more experience with that. And then we talked to the other friend that had more like reach with suppliers. And then the third friend for more design experience. So it happened in stages. So I started the idea of stickers because I was searching to buy stuff to just put on my own laptop. And the only ones I could find were they would come in big bundles and they're all English stickers like related to whatever like pop culture references there are, but I couldn't find nice Arabic ones. The more I looked, the more basic designs I would find, or there would be all those poetry lyrics, like not really funky designs that I would put. So that's why we started with stickers, to just fill that gap that we saw in the market and design things that we would also have on our own laptop. shops and own products. We really just wanted to start a business as a side hustle, see where that goes. We wanted to make sure that the designs are affordable, stuff that we would buy as university students that didn't really have a job, just pocket money affordability. So the dream for Waggish is to be a very big variety store that's also very educational and entertaining. Much like when you go to the mall and you see those Miniso stores or those cute little fun packed stores, you go in and it's like a maze of products. We don't have anything like that that's Arab related. A lot of it is international Asian cultures. But because we don't have anything that's Arab like that and affordable at the same time, I feel like that's where I would go to shop if I'm buying gifts from my friends or if I'm buying stuff for myself. And because I'm able to create those products, I feel like I should be able to share it with people and grow it to a point where it can be accessible for more people as well. So that's why I think it's very important to make Arabic products. Like, for example, my brother, he's 10 and he doesn't speak Arabic, he just speaks English. And I feel like because there are not much like nice, entertaining Arabic products or Arabic entertainment things that he can use, he just went with the next best thing, which were like those really good English products or English shows or English whatever. So creating that, I think, is like every Arab's responsibility. Like if you can do it, why not? And when we started, there wasn't many businesses that were doing the same thing. Now I'm very happy that there is a market for those designs, those stickers, those posters. And I'm very proud that this is becoming popular. But still, at the heart of it, Waggish is to become a platform or a place or a hub for people who like nice, stylistic Arabic things. They would go and get it. Like one of the recent products that I launched was an like Arabic alphabets that are themed with the Levantine and Iraqi culture. So every alphabet stands for something specific that's from the culture. That resonated with a lot of people. I got a comment from one of my friends saying that she got cards for her son, and the letter Sheen in Arabic was for shiitake mushrooms, which is like, what are you doing? Like, what is this about? And that she returned those cards when she saw it. As much as you would think that stuff like that are available in Arabic, they're really not, or they're not affordable, or they're not accessible. So that's what I try to do. There's a part of Waggish that's sarcastic and funny and funky, but big part of it is to educate and make entertaining, informative products.
So, Rahada and her university friends decided to create a brand that would promote Arabic culture on all kinds of gifts, especially on stickers. And they started with choosing a name.
I do remember the time where we came up with the name. We were sitting in a cafe, me and the first guy and the first girl, and we were just Googling names. What we wanted was something that sounded like Gucci in that like one word, two syllables. Like that's what we wanted, something like very easy to remember. And we started with very basic names like the Art Factory and stuff that are very like SEO, which we hated. And then we were Googling synonyms of, I think, the words funny or flirty, because that's the personality of the brand. And then we saw the word Waggish, which is a proper English word. It's outdated and it means someone who's flirty and naughty and funny, which just was the perfect thing. I said it, I found it, and they were like, oh my God, this is the name that we're going to use. And it just stuck. And now people think it's an Arabic word. It sounds like the Jordanian dialect of Waqif, which means standing up. But no, it's just English. And that's the meaning. And it relates directly with the brand.
I teach English. And, when I heard about the brand, and I was like, wow, that's a very impressive word to use because it's a bit outdated, but it's such a beautiful word. And it sounds very pleasing for the ear because it has like 2 syllables. It's quite easy to remember. And visually, it's also quite pleasing for the eyes. The name. And what's next?
So after that, we were working on the branding, the logo and whatnot. I think it was 2 months before we really launched. We're trying to build a library of designs because the idea was to have design, get them printed on different products like totes and mugs and whatever really the supplier had in their catalog. So the first couple of months, it was just doing that behind the scenes. And then we launched in October 1st of 2020. And we started with the stickers, and then we slowly started showing that we have different products. That was the first 2 years. We're just doing that. We're not doing any marketing. We're not budgeting anything for it. We're just testing how people would react to it very organically. We just wanted to have fun, really. The first 2 years like that, creating as much designs as possible and just selling it to our friends, friends of friends. And it was just word of mouth. There's a nice story I can share. Because I work so much as a designer and I didn't use a mouse, it was all on the trackpad. I would design and I would do all the typography on it. Because of that limited range of motion, I got an infection between the joints on my wrist and I needed to do a surgery. They needed to take out what's called a ganglion. It's still here. If you see it, it's like a little bump. So that stopped me from working for 3 months. And I remember that time I was so sad because I really wanted to go back to design. And I remember the last sticker I did before the surgery, the night of the surgery, was the karak blood bag sticker, which is now one of our best sellers. It's a design of a blood bag and it has karak inside, karak runs through our veins. Karak is a South Indian tea that we really like to drink in the UAE. So I did that as a farewell to my hand because I couldn't use it anymore. And then right after I could go back, I did. And the bump is back. It's actually on both hands. I don't know why it's on the left hand, even though I don't use it. And it doesn't hurt anymore. So that's great. But it's still I have that scar and it's I remember where I started.
Like a reminder. Wow. First of all, I'm so sorry that you had to go through it. But second of all, you literally worked through it, to kind of get it out. Wow. Do you remember the moment when you realized that sticker became best-selling sticker? How did you feel?
I was so happy because it launched a couple of months after I designed it. It immediately got sold to so many customers. And that was the first, if I remember correctly, it was the first time we had a surge in orders, even though our orders were very minimal at that time. But it was quickly apparent that people like the sticker and they're willing to get it on different items. Every time we'd post it on social media on a tote or a mug or anything, people order it. So it just felt very good that the last thing I did before that surgery, I really put a lot of effort into thinking of what to make, and to find that people are appreciative of it, it's the best gift, really. And it's still one of my favorite stickers, and it's still one of the stickers that's bought almost all the time.
Wow. Did you use any insights from that, to develop other stickers related to this one?
Yes. So after that, I was less on making themes that are general. It wasn't we still had themes like the reading and writing and those very general ideas. But I found that the more specific you get with what people relate to, the more inclined they would feel to buy or purchase or own that piece of art. So I started doing that. If there is those common proverbs that we use all the time as Arabs, it's different from each culture to the other. When I do stuff like that, people relate to it so much and then they really like it. So now one of the original products that Waggish has is a keychain, and it's a pot, and the other keychain is a lid. There's a very famous Arabic proverb that says طنجرة ولقت غطاها, which is a pot that finally found its lid. It's a perfect 2 peas in a pod situation. So when that launched, every time I post about it, it's a viral video because people really like how simple the idea is, but also how relevant it is to their own cultures. The same proverb is said this in different ways, in different dialects, but because the idea is super simple, it's just literally a pot and a lid, everyone can relate to it. I feel like stuff like that is what makes Waggish stand out, and it's what really drives all the sales.
As usual, I call JP, marketing director at Fortis, to discuss this idea with him. The more specific you get with what people need, the more related they would feel towards what you offer. So I asked JP what specific idea is behind Fortis payment solution and how it relates to the UAE business culture.
I think that one of the most important things that you will notice about Dubai entrepreneurs is that an entrepreneur is not necessarily someone who is technology savvy. And that means that they're not used to putting effort into learning a technology. It has to be really easy to use and not require any training. In France, for example, people are going to look at documentation. They're going to try to read it. They're going to take the time to understand how the technology works in order to domesticate it and then use it. In the UAE, people are a lot more convenience focused, which is very good because it forces product makers like us to focus on easy to use technology and to continuously simplify in order not to overwhelm this customer base.
I asked him to give an example.
Here in the Middle East, one of the sales channels that is the most important is WhatsApp, because people like to get in touch with someone directly. And even if the merchant has a website, it's likely that people would rather speak to someone directly. So one of the things that we did is within our product, you have something called an online catalog, which is basically an online store that is built into the Fortis product so that merchants can launch their online store that is fully functional, with the ability to look at products, set prices, accept online payments, send invoices. All of that is already built in literally just a click. And within the online catalog suite of products, you have something called payment links. A payment link is when you send a link to a customer who would like to buy a specific product. For example, you will speak to me on WhatsApp and you will say, "Hi, JP's Flower Shop. I would like to buy a bouquet of 15 roses." And instead of going through the online experience, what you will be expecting is that the merchant will say, "Okay, no problem. Can I have your name, your address, and the date of delivery?" And he or she will send you a payment link. So you click on that link from your WhatsApp, and then this will open up an online payment for you to enter your card details and then pay for that order.
So, for the first 2 years of Waggish life, the friends developed it together. They came up with designs based on cultural references, posted them on social networks, sold stickers and other merch to friends and through word of mouth. But finally, the time came for each member of the team to decide whether they wanted to continue this brand.
So at first, it was really easy. Everyone had a specific role. It's definitely got harder with time, I'm not gonna lie, because with all the responsibility that we had, fulfilling orders it's a promise that you have to upkeep with the customers. That's the image of the brand. So the more we grew, the harder it got. Because we were four, it was also very hard to get stuff approved very quickly and everyone has to agree on it. But towards the beginning of last year, which was the third year of Waggish, it was just me. I, like everyone else, was busy doing other things in their lives. So I had 3 partners. The first 2 partners were already busy with their own lives. One of them got married. She got busy with that life. The other one really just wanted to focus on building a career and proper business experience. And then it was me and another partner for a year. But also I felt like I was giving Waggish a lot more dedication. She was super busy as well with her work. And to me, Waggish is my baby. So towards the end of that year, it just naturally separated. It was a little bit uncomfortable. But I think at this point, we all just grew out of it. Whoever really wanted to focus on Waggish is still part of the support system that makes it today. And whoever needed to focus on their own jobs or careers is also doing that. And I'm proud of all of them. I still have them as friends and I still see what they're doing. And I decided to take Waggish seriously. So this is where I am right now.
Now Raha doesn't have to waste time on approvals. She can take Waggish in any direction she wants. And she wants to develop the brand. So what are your first steps as the sole owner of the brand?
I wasn't really happy with the quality of the products. I felt like I should be sourcing products from people who specialize in them, not just one person who does everything. So I started from scratch, from stickers, then totes again, totes as in tote bags, like those canvas bags. And then slowly I started doing more, experimenting with more stationery items, with more original products. So just started growing from there, I feel. And now everyone, alhamdulillah, is happy with the quality and I'm very happy with the quality. And it takes a lot of attention to detail to really get to where we are right now.
Do you have some specific story, maybe you got some items and you were like, oh, this is not what I wanted?
This still happens. The more you produce, the more accidents that will happen. But you just understand that with suppliers, you have to be super, super direct with what you want. You can't have them think about anything. Especially as a designer, you might think that everyone else has the same vision, that they can make it look even prettier. No, like with production, especially, you have to be straightforward, as detailed as possible, so you can get the results that you want. Or then just like maybe start with samples and then see how it goes. I think the worst experience I had was a previous supplier I used to work with. The margin of error was so huge. I have videos of me just complaining to my friends that I just picked up the items and like out of, I don't know, like 30, 17 are wrong. And that would cost me money, and that would like, he wouldn't take any responsibilities. Like, with production, this happens. I'm like, no, like, it shouldn't be this bad all the time. But I changed that supplier. I don't work with that supplier anymore.
Was it only like this manufacturer type of responsibility issue, or in general, this is how they usually behave? When you have some items which are not what you expected or damaged, is it possible to replace them, or how does it work?
I think it depends on the policy of every manufacturer. So you would ideally adjust that before you start production. That time I was just fresh working on my own, and I was really just looking to get the production going and get everything on the website. So now I don't do that anymore. Like, at least I get samples to start with. Manufacturing, the sample is not 100% what you'll get after the production is done, but you get a feel of what you'll get. Accidents are fine if we're still in the first production stages. But then at the end of it, you would most probably ensure that everything else is perfect. Maybe you'll get a little bit of defects, but that's fine. That's within the margin of error.
Well, especially after saying that there was 17 wrong ones out of 30, your couple, it sounds like okay, right? Okay, as Rahad remained the main and only owner of the brand, she first of all dealt with the suppliers, found new ones, and built the right relationships with them. But what about distribution? As I can see on the brand's Instagram, Waggish often creates collaborations with different businesses. So I was interested in how she found this business model and this sales channel.
And up until now, I never talked with a business to offer my services. They all reached out to Waggish. My friend was in a community called Inspire Me Dubai. They were hosting workshops, and they were doing a lot of things about being an entrepreneur and how to help people like be entrepreneurs themselves. She asked if Waggish could host a workshop about that. And a part of it is like, what do you think if we can make like the swag for the workshop? Like, just make stickers and put it out for sale. And that was the first time. So it was a branded collaboration. And we also did the workshop. And very fast after that, people saw that, okay, like this is something we can do. And they slowly started coming. So that's how it just was like a chain reaction. I do stuff like that with brides. They like to have stickers in their weddings, for example, that has the inside jokes of her and the groom, or like little memories. I have cafes that saw the Waggish stickers in other cafes. They wanted that for their own. Collaborations is with brands or cafes or restaurants. The biggest ones were with Subway and with Rimmel London, but also with American University in Dubai. We're working on a lot of like behind the scenes with even higher profile like companies or organizations. So the way that happens is really they're looking for more nice marketing material. It's for their events or just to have their own merchandise. And usually it would be through stickers because they can order it in bulk without having an enormous budget. And they can then distribute it to people or sell it or like whatever they see fit. So working with businesses really is what pushed Waggish that third year to more people. And it showed that like Waggish now has a sense of style, and whoever wants to work with Waggish knows what to expect when we're delivering the projects.
What is expected from the Waggish brand is very deep references to Arabic culture, formulated in a very simple, often funny and sarcastic form. But not everyone always get it correctly.
I think I can share this with you. I recently launched socks that look like they're packaged as wara ainab, which is a popular Arab food. It's basically like grape leaves stuffed with rice and rolled, and they put like pomegranate seeds and lemons. So I just made socks that looked green and they have the same veins as the leaves and rolled them in the packaging. They look like they're ورق which is just like that. And then I made pomegranate seeds from clay and pictures of lemons. I got so much backlash. It was insane. Like full on bullying online because people were like, you're like making fun of God's blessings, or this is haram, or like, how dare you, and like curse words and threats. And it was just socks. Yeah, why are you all so pressed? But it's because when you get super cultural and when you start talking about those things that people really relate to and hold to this extreme high standards, they think that everything is sensitive and you shouldn't do it. But also you have to keep pushing people and show them that this is fine and this is good for you. Like now we have representation of what you find in your own house as something that's sold online. Because I told them, I did another video explaining that this is a common thing they do with sushi and other like foods. But still, you'd get the people who are okay with buying it as sushi or as pizza, but are absolutely not okay in getting it as something that they know. So it's fine. It's you have to push and you have to have thick skin working with a community like this.
Do you remember the first comment that you get, like the first backlash that happened with this socks? How did it make you feel? Like, did your heart pound? Were you like sweaty, reddish? Yeah. And what did you do eventually with this crisis?
I suspected that some people might take it the wrong way, but I didn't think they're going to come in this huge of an influx because it got viral on Instagram and it got viral on TikTok. And I think like there was a lot of them that were saying like, what a stupid idea, or this is so disgusting, or suffocating, or so super dramatic about it. But I do remember someone just commenting like, what is this silliness? In Arabic, it sounds like a little bit harsher. And it had like thousands of likes. Is it silly? Like, am I doing silly things? But then I have so many like more comments that are like, oh my God, this is so creative. I love it so much. And my friends were like, Ragad, please, like, don't listen to those comments. Like, they're just bored. And I'm like, you know what? If they're getting it on their feed, like they should be doing stuff that are similar. Like they should be reacting to similar artistic things. They should be getting it. After I concluded that they just have a lot of free time on their hands and they just like to like critique things, I was fine with it. It was okay. But I kept it. I didn't delete the comments. I only deleted the ones that I felt like offensive to the public. But I kept all the negative ones. It's fine.
Ooh, that's a strong position.
I actually gained a lot of followers because of that video. And just today I answered a question. There was a guy that said, what are the sales for a product that's more packaging than product itself? I was like, maybe in the video you didn't see the quality or the details that went into the socks, but I actually finished half of the quantity ordered already. And he's like, okay, whoa, like, good luck and good job. I'm like, yeah, thank you. And I kept the comments because, to be completely honest, this is the first Waggish that's getting hate. I felt very proud that I touched people that much and made them feel that angry because of socks. So I kept it for the memories. I said I only removed the ones that I felt were just bad and they looked bad for the own people. But the rest, I feel like that's everyone's opinion and it's fine. Like you present something to the public and you get critiqued. I think it's fake if I just start deleting comments and make it seem as if it was all loved by everyone.
I wanted to find out how Arabic art and Waggish ironic stickers relate. And for the answer, I went to the library. I mean, by now you know how much I love libraries in Sharjah. And I discovered that small sarcastic pictures were already popular in our culture for 1,000 years. Of course, at that time they were not stuck on laptops, but drawn in books and manuscript. But the essence is the same. The oldest miniatures date from 690s and their peak of popularity was in 1200s in the Abbasid Caliphate. The most famous book with such miniatures is Makamat. It was written by the poet Al-Hariri. During his lifetime alone, 700 copies of this book were created, which is very many for the 12th century. Makamat is a collection of humorous stories about the trickster character, Abu Zaid. He's cunning, smart, and he's good with his speeches. Illustrator Al-Wasiti drew 96 miniatures for this book. One of them with an old woman driving camels you could even see on postcards and tourist stands. Maybe this picture did not seem funny to you, but that is because over 1,000 years, our sense of humor has changed. And for people of the 12th century, this picture was hilarious. There are also jokes about food in the book. For example, in one of the stories in the book, in the Makamat of Aleppo, the main character gives an intricate speech at a feast, and it is so deliberately pompous that readers laugh from an overly serious attitude to what is happening. So, joking about food is a tradition with a 1,000-year history. On the other hand, to treat Arab culture without humor, what an irony, is precisely a European tradition. In the 18th century, the Orientalist movement emerged in European art. The depiction of the entire Eastern culture was limited to images of elderly sages, exotic harems, and luxury. All this was depicted with such great seriousness, even without the slightest hint of irony. On the other hand, to swear intricately, sending each other complex poetic curses, sends us back again to the Arab tradition. Exquisite backbiting is found in 1001 Nights and in Arab poetry. I mean, we just know how to choose the right words for any situation. So, as for me, both the ironic Rahat stickers and the hateful comments to them, all this in some sense continues the tradition that began 1,000 years ago and will live for another 1,000 years, hopefully. But let's get back to our story. Businesses, companies, and just people started coming to Rahat to ask her to do something specifically for them. And this year, she got a completely new experience that showed her what Waggish can grow into.
The first time was just this year in February. There was a collaboration between Waggish and the art sector from Dubai government. They have an art festival. This year was the first time that they do it in Al Shandaga neighborhood, which is right in front of the Dubai Creek. It's very, very beautiful. And because it was bigger than their usual ones, they wanted to offer the small businesses or local brands an opportunity to showcase their own merch. And they reached out to Waggish to handle the shop. So it was Waggish X Sikka, and they gave me a physical shop. It was the first physical shop for Waggish. They had their own collaborations with other local artists, and they gave Waggish half the space. So I managed the entire shop, but it also featured all those other like local artists' work with whatever Waggish items we had. Because it was the first space and it was for 10 days, it wasn't really like a pop-up that's 1 day or 2 days like the ones I was used to. Really tried to push out all the ideas we had. I rented a vending machine from like a normal vending machine supplier, and I stacked it with stationery and erasers and cards. So you'd buy your like snacks for thought, I guess. So I was really playing a lot with that idea. And then slowly after that, when people saw that Waggish can be a shop, is when I also realized that, like, yes, like this is what Waggish has to be at the end of the day. A shop, and people come, are looking at everything. And I would see the customers, like they would start with one tote bag and then they'd walk past something. How much is this? Like 30 dirhams? I'll get that as well. That was the happiest days of my life. So that's the energy that I want to create for hopefully a future Waggish store.
It was like a test drive, right? For you to kind of feel it and envision it.
That's true. And it's made the most in sales. So in 10 days, made like 60,000 dirhams. So there was so many people coming in the shop. It was like a exposure at its finest to what really a shop life or a shop experience can be. Having a physical shop is that big vision, it's the big project, because I see that people like brands like Minisu, like brands like Flying Tiger, those things that you would go not knowing exactly what you're going to get, what you're going to buy, but you go in and get inspired in the way. So that's why I envision like a physical shop for Waggish. Tiny, maybe like not that huge, not to start, but filled with products that you might not consider buying at first, but then you see that they're funny or they're educational or they're good as a gift, and at the same time affordable. So you can buy so much and not feel so guilty about spending so much money. I don't think there is a limit to where it can go. And because of that, and because that means there's so much work that has to go in it, and my vision for what Waggish needs to be, I don't know, like life is just fast and you have to keep going with it and jump on every trend and make sure people still remember who you are. It's just like a race, really. Sometimes, like this week, I have so much work. I don't feel like I'm breathing properly because, like, I just have to get everything done. I have an event in the weekend and I have meeting. It's just like, the entire time. And there is a lot of work that needs to still be done and lots of ideas that I need to explore. But at least I started. Like, that's what I keep telling myself. At least I started. At least I'm getting all this experience. And by the time that I can officially open a store, I want to have that huge inventory of stuff that I can reproduce if they're sold out or make from scratch. To me, Waggish is my baby. I know every business owner says the same, but really, like, I celebrated Waggish's birthday last year as it's like kid themed. Because to me, really, it's it's a baby that's growing up.
Can you tell me a little bit more about this birthday celebration? How was it? Like, what did you do? Maybe some details.
Before the birthday, I just got myself a cake that has Waggish turns 3. And then I invited all my friends and key people that supported Waggish in that year in a cafe, and we had it all themed with the Waggish colors. And I just gave a small speech, but the whole thing felt like you were getting invited to a birthday party that's not for a brand. It was like an actual person. And people were telling me happy birthday. I'm like, no, it's not my birthday. I never do stuff like that for myself. It's for Waggish only.
There are photos from the holiday on Waggish Instagram. And the Instagram is really cool. I recommend to check it out. And that's it for this episode. You're listening to Crossing the Desert, podcast by Fortis. Fortis helps seamlessly connect businesses and their customers and run the business. It assists in attracting and retaining customers, selling products and services, accepting payments both online and in-store, and managing finances and personnel. So join Fortis social media. Links are in the episode description. Follow our podcast or add it to your favorites. Give us 5 stars or a heart and leave us a comment. This will help other listeners find out about us, and we'll love to read and answer them. And see you in the next episode. Production by Hatcha Podcast Studio. Showrunners and editors Alexandra Volkova and Yelena Volkova. Producer Darius Sanikova. History consultant Alona Podnibenna. Sound designer Ksenia Kazantseva. And I'm your host, Isaac Delonin.